I've talked about this motto of thinking better every day. And I'm just so committed to people getting their thinking renewed and changed. And, the Apostle Paul says, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And Jesus, in his sort of opening statement, says, the kingdom is at hand. Change how you think. Repent. Metanoia is the Greek word there. Change your thinking and believe in this good news. So to close the circle on this question, my faith and my work are all connected. My desire to help people think better came out of those experiences of meeting people with bad thinking and good thinking, and connected to Jesus' real purpose message of change how you think. This is a big question for people, and sometimes it takes us a lifetime to discover our purpose. But I'll tell you, we have some clues. We all have some clues to our purpose. And first of all, things that really bother us might be a clue to our purpose. And then things that attract us can be clues to our purpose. And so I realized decades ago, that when people had the same sort of behaviors over and over, they're trapped in this self-defeating behavior loops. That drives me crazy. And, of course, I would talk to people and intervene in their lives, and people would come to me for help and things like this. I was initially trying to deal with behaviors, their behavior. Ultimately, I've realized, though, that all of our outcomes are rooted in our behaviors, which are sourced in our thinking. And so it's that experience of being frustrated, David, at people being caught in these loops of self-defeating, limited lives. Yeah. Jesus came that we would have abundant life. And it just drives me batty when people are caught in shrunken lives. So that was the clue to my purpose around helping people think better. There could be lots of other reasons that people are stuck, David, but they truly are all rooted in our thinking. And so that's why we need to work on and be cognizant of, what am I thinking about? And what are the predominant thoughts in my mind? Because my life tends to move in the direction of my dominant thoughts. So if I don't like the direction or the current status of my life, my contention is we need to change what we're thinking about. Apostle Paul wrote that if there's anything good or true or praiseworthy or honorable or just, think on these things, not on the limitations, not on the problems in my life, but what are the positive things that I can replace my current bad thinking with? And so I encourage people to change their default setting. So if my default is limit, I'm poor, nobody likes me, I'm not going to get out of this situation, whatever the limiting thoughts are, human beings are, as far as we know, the only creatures who have the ability to think about what we're thinking about. And so I just really encourage people to try to be cognizant. What am I thinking about? And then have a default you can go to. And so what is a positive thought or two or three that you can, when you recognize the bad thought, the limiting thought, what can you replace it with, like automatically? Some people I know have actually carried something around in their pocket, a little card. They'll laminate it with plastic or something like this, so they can just pull it out and say, I'm a good person. People like me. God is for me. Who could be against me? So I'm not going to be prescriptive about what the positive thought is, but I suggest that everybody has an intentionality to change your defaults thinking.